any chance that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
It's on it. It's on it. It's been talks. It's been talks. It's possible.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, nah.
Canelo, choose one, please.
Guys, we gotta go. We don't.
Can you elaborate on why Crawford is better than Mayweather? Just a little bit of detail.
Oh, he can switch. He's very smart guy. He's better.
Terence Bud Crawford, the undisputed pound-for-pound king, is drawing a line in the sand, firm, unshaken. He's made it crystal clear in his challenge to Floyd Mayweather, declaring he's ready to risk everything, even his perfect record. Crawford stands at the very peak of his power, confident, untouchable, and he's not here for a show, no scripted exhibition, no easy bout. He's calling for something real, something that could shake the sport to its core.
He said afterwards, "You are better than Floyd Mayweather."
I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
When you heard that, what did you think?
I just was like, well, you know, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. You know, one where he felt like he was at the best, you know, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, you know, I don't know. I don't go on for that.
The whispers of a fight between Terence Crawford and Floyd Money Mayweather began with a single spark, a rumor that could push Mayweather to gamble the one thing he treasures more than money, his flawless, untouchable legacy. The boxing world flipped on its head the night Terence Crawford faced Saul Canelo Alvarez. That was the night Crawford's patience, pain, and persistence came full circle. The moment he had been chasing for years, after being branded the most avoided man in the sport.
I feel like I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out. From Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
Don't do
obviously,
I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's not. Kovalev.
Kovalev was older. He does.
Billy Joe.
Don't get me wrong. He does have a lot of power, but all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry. No disrespect to none of those fighters. The skill level is not there.
So how do you see a fight with Canelo though?
A tough fight. Canelo is a great fighter. Like, I always had respect for Canelo, but I just believe in my skills. The fact that people doubt me, it just fueled me even more. Try to get the fight even more. And I'm watching them, I'm like, man, I can beat this dude. I've been fighting people bigger than me all my life, and I always came out on top. You gonna get hit. It's a fight. He gonna get hit too. It'll be good.
A journey so exhausting, so draining, that Crawford himself confessed he was on the edge of walking away for good, ready to leave it all behind if the legacy-defining clash with Errol Spence never came to life.
It happened. If not, then, you know, it just be one of those fights that go down in history that didn't happen. You know, it's numerous of fights that didn't happen. Do I want the fight? Absolutely, yes. Have I tried to make the fight? Absolutely, yes. Do I want the fight after this fight? Absolutely, yes. Like, of course, you know, but if it doesn't happen, then it's out of my power. I can't, you know, make the man fight. I can't make the man, you know, go against, you know, what he stands for with his team and all that. So, you know, it is what it is. But I'm going to continue to do what I do.
How was this particular weight cut? Was it a very difficult one, or did you feel at ease with the weight cut?
I mean, it's always difficult, but, you know, like I said, I don't make any excuses. The better man won tonight.
And finally, under the brightest lights, he showed the world exactly why he took Canelo apart, becoming the first male boxer in the four-belt era to etch his name in history as the undisputed champion across 3 different weight divisions.
This is the situation, guys. No one has ever been a 4-division champion in boxing. Not a real one. Oh, Pacquiao won 8 and Oscar De La Hoya won 11 and this one won 15. No, I'm talking about Ring Magazine champ or lineal champ. You are the champion of that division.
Get them all.
Forever, the record was 3 by Henry Armstrong. Manny Pacquiao was the first dude to really win 4. Floyd gets credit for 4 for beating Canelo, but that wasn't at the junior middleweight limit. I don't count that. I don't count that. Terence Crawford just joined Manny Pacquiao as the only legit 4-division champion in the history of boxing. And he did it by jumping middle. He came lightweight, junior welter, then he won a belt at junior middle, not the whole championship, and then skipped middle to fight Canelo Alvarez for the undisputed, for the Ring Magazine super middleweight championship of the world, and left no doubts, including with Canelo, who was all class after the fight but knew what had just happened.
That victory sealed Bud's place as the true pound-for-pound king. But what no one saw coming was what happened after the final bell. In the post-fight press conference, a humbled Canelo Alvarez, a man who had stood toe-to-toe with both legends, made a statement that left the entire boxing world stunned.
And lastly for me, champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
He later opened up about just how
we already know. We knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
Was it something specific, the movement or his speed or power, or what? Was there something you could put your finger on that gave you the most trouble?
Everything.
Okay.
He have everything. You know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore. So I try it, but my body just not let me.
The legend of Floyd Mayweather has always been a masterclass, the science of hitting without getting hit. But his story runs deeper than stats or scorecards. It's built on something bigger, the meticulously crafted image of TBE, the best ever.
Floyd says TBE, the best ever. He's told me, I'm not even talking about in the ring. Someone else can have that. He's talking about playing the whole game. Then you have an argument. Playing the business side of it, not getting hit, getting out undefeated, making a ton of money.
For a man with an ego that vast, how do Canelo's words really sit with him? How does he watch Crawford do what he never could, becoming a 3-division undisputed champion, and not feel that spark, that sting of pride, pushing him to prove he's still the best?
Disputing your story,
Sure.
but I can see the money getting crazy after that.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you'll see reports. You mentioned $100 million for Floyd. The reports are 130. First off, he's never gotten $100 million for a fight, not even remotely close. But there's reports of 130. Wow. There's reports online that Floyd's a billionaire. There's reports that he was the highest paid athlete in this year over Cristiano Ronaldo.
You think it's bullshit?
I know it is. And there's public companies they do business with. HBO would be one of them. Find an executive to back the claim. It's never happened and it won't be.
When there's a percentage split between Floyd and Pacquiao, I'll just say this. On the Monday after the fight, we wired him an advance, and the advance was $100 million. Someone comes to me with a 9-figure check and says, we need your signature in order to release this.
Wow.
And that's when it set in. It's like, wow, we're at a different level.
Yeah.
This is the same man whose career was often picked apart by analysts like Max Kellerman, accused of cherry-picking opponents once he moved past the lightweight division. But was it fear or genius? A cautious move or the strategy of the master tactician guarding his empire? That question now carries a whole new weight.
They say Floyd did it in 4, but he had a weight stipulation where Canelo couldn't weigh in as a full junior middleweight. I don't count that. That's not a junior middleweight. That's 3 for Floyd.
What do you have to say to that?
I had one fight, and the fight wasn't actually at a catch weight. It was at a catch weight, but it wasn't my idea. Canelo at one particular time thought I was scared of him, that I was afraid. So he said, Floyd don't want to fight me. I'm willing to meet him at 152 pounds or 152 and a half. And me, I called his bluff and said, if you want to do it, let's do it at 152. But after Canelo made the weight, it wasn't like it was a certain clause to where he couldn't gain weight. So after he weighed 152 or 152 and a half, I think he came in like 168 or close to 170.
And actually, I came in at probably like I probably came in at 151 and 150.
In a strange twist of fate, that same calculating mind made a move no one saw coming, investing in the very man considered his greatest threat. When Crawford stepped into the ring against Canelo, Floyd silently dropped a $50,000 bet on Bud to win and walked away with a smooth $124,000.
Was yes, I saw you placed a bet, won a lot of money. Congratulations. What are your thoughts? What was your reaction to the fight, Floyd, as you watched Bud and Canelo in there on Saturday?
Oh, it's good for boxing. It was exciting. The best man won.
Is Canelo washed up now at 35 years old?
Oh, I don't know. Boxing is a lot of wear and tear on the body. Maybe so.
It was vintage Floyd, a classic money move, but it left fans questioning. Was it just smart business, or did he see something deeper in Crawford? Maybe a challenge he could no longer ignore, one last test to his throne. And with Canelo's words still echoing, the boxing world erupted, a battlefield of opinions and pride.
Crawford. Believe Crawford, even though, fought twice, throughout the year, Crawford, was...
But look who he beat.
The undisputed.
Look who he beat. Look who he beat. What he did to Spence and how he did it. That's 3 fights to me. And it took 4 fights out of Spence, right? I'm a fighter, so I can tell you when you get punished like that.
Yeah, I was there ringside watching the fight.
It takes a few years out of you. Don't see the years right now, but it sort of takes something out of that person going forward. They still can beat some fights, but it really put a bruise on it. You didn't see Spence fight yet, did you?
No.
Did you hear him name opponent for him to potentially fight? It's been quiet. You see the weight he gets.
What do you think of Bud's performance last week, man? What do you think of Bud's performance last week?
Man, great. Bud always been like that. But I would question salary. You know what I'm saying?
You think there's anything left for him, coach, or is it time for Bud to move on? Or
I'm trying to figure out who he gonna fight next.
160, you can see him probably going to 160.
I wouldn't up crazy. He looked at excellent. He looked at excellent.
The fantasy clash between a prime Crawford and a prime Mayweather split the boxing world in two. The deeper you dig, the more fascinating and complicated it gets. Mayweather, for all his brilliance, had fleeting moments of struggle against quick southpaws, especially early on against Zab Judah. But Crawford, he's not just a southpaw. He's a hunter, a switch-hitting predator, a sharper, deadlier version of that same puzzle.
Canelo Alvarez has been a great fighter his whole career. People like Erislandy Lara gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. People like Floyd Mayweather also gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. But Bud is more fierce, more fearsome and more angrier and more meaner than both of those guys. So if they showed you the blueprint, Bud gonna go out there and take that blueprint and do even more with it, which is what Bud did. So it was never a question in my mind whether Bud really was going to outbox me, it's just if he could take the punch. And right away he showed, bam, he could take the punch. So I knew from that point, if he just slow him down, which he did, he'd be okay. Then late in the fight, what other people still didn't see, late in the fight, Bud started hitting Canelo's body. One of those body shots, I think about the 7th or 8th round, hurt Canelo. I was like, whoa. Bud hit him in the right spot then, and he got Canelo's respect with that too. So Bud fought a very, very awesome fight, fought a beautiful fight, very tactical.
Very controlled.
Yes, it was a beautiful fight for boxing.
It was a beautiful fight. Bud got hit with some shots.
He did. He got
hit with some single shots going out. He's going out and Canelo, if he has you trapped in the corner or along the ropes, it's typically 1 to 2 big shots. You know that if you've watched him.
Yep.
So you could tell Crawford, as he was going out, he knew the one shot was coming, and several times it landed. He even got hit with a 2-piece. I don't remember what round it was, uppercut right hand that Crawford took well. So when you started seeing him absorb the shots, if you're Team Crawford, you don't want him to take that shot. But if you started seeing that, now you know that, okay. And I think that's what gave Crawford the green light to stay there a little bit longer.
He smiled about it.
He smiled about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that smile can be a lie, and sometimes that smile can mean what I think it meant for Crawford, which is, oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was.
This sets the stage for a mesmerizing battle of minds inside the ring. Mayweather's brilliance lies in control, in mastering risk, in weaving a defensive web so precise, his opponents don't even realize they're trapped until it's too late.
What was his power like? Have you been hit by anybody that strong before?
I've been hit harder.
No, in a real fight, not a sparring.
In a real fight. Avanesian, I mean not Avanesian, but Mean Machine hit harder than Canelo to me.
Crawford's genius, on the other hand, is cold, calculated, and predatory. He spends the early rounds studying, downloading every pattern, every reaction, and once he's decoded his opponent, he dismantles them, methodically, piece by piece.
Yeah, I like him.
I'm leaning Bud. Yeah.
He's slick, man.
Yeah.
He's slick. He's super intelligent. Like, he sets traps. He does stuff. And then, you know, there's a bunch of great breakdown videos of particularly the Errol Spence fight, like him setting traps. It's just, he's a very high-level guy, but Canelo is dangerous. He broke Billy Joe Saunders' whole face. Broke his whole face. What he did to Amir Khan, remember that shit?
Oh,
Oh, lordy.
Embarrassed him.
Oh, lordy. And never been down. Never been dropped. Yeah, Canelo's a stud.
Yeah, Terence.
Canelo, I may be the only one. I thought you won the fight. I scored it for you.
You know, we need to accept it. We need to accept it no matter what. In the scorecard, we lost it.
Well, you're the best. You're the
Want
number
the
one fighter in the
rematch?
world.
Thank
and
you.
I think keep shining. You want the rematch, Canelo?
Could Crawford's adaptive, problem-solving mind finally crack the Mayweather code? The riddle that 50 others failed to solve? When asked that very question, Crawford's response was calm, assured, almost inevitable. But Floyd's uncle, Jeff Mayweather, was quick to fire back, insisting that Floyd's defensive brilliance and experience exist on a level few could ever touch.
So if we remember, you know, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw, and then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So.
What was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23? 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people.
How are you at the top of your career in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose?
20s.
I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, so, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
But he want
to make himself look like he did something great.
The harsh condition everyone whispers about isn't some hidden convoluted clause. It's simple, almost deceptively so. Yet it cuts straight to the core of Floyd Mayweather's post-retirement empire. To grasp just how serious it is, look back at another rumored dream matchup, Mayweather versus Roy Jones Jr. In that tale, Jones set the same ultimatum, only a real, fully sanctioned professional fight, no exhibition, no safety net. That exact unforgiving demand now looms over any potential Crawford clash.
Listen, Floyd was the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
You talk the talk and you sure walk the walk. Your confidence and aura is on another level. Could we see a run as a light heavyweight?
Nah, we ain't going up that much.
Now,
since hanging up the gloves in 2017, Mayweather has stepped back into the ring only for high-paying exhibitions, taking on everyone from YouTubers to MMA stars.
What is MP Promotions, Netflix, Al Heyman, everybody.
Turns out he can't read just like Floyd.
Oh, MVP.
Every match meticulously controlled, designed to shield that flawless record. By calling for a sanctioned fight, Crawford would be daring Mayweather to risk everything he spent a lifetime crafting, facing an undefeated, undisputed predator at the height of his powers. But even if Crawford issued that harsh challenge, who could possibly afford the staggering cost to turn it into reality?
Great fights never take place, or they take place too late, like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. They fought too late. I mean, if that fight could have been arranged by Riyadh Season, they probably would have caught them both in their prime, and it would have been chaos.
Yeah, Manny was done before that ever started.
And he also had a blown shoulder going into the fight. Yeah. He needed shoulder surgery before the fight even started.
The answer lies in the rapidly shifting world of global boxing. We've entered an era where the impossible fight is suddenly possible. Visionaries with seemingly endless pockets, like Turki Al-Sheikh in Saudi Arabia, are rewriting the rules of the sport. Fights once trapped in promotional red tape are now being made with astonishing speed and record-breaking purses. This new financial power could be the key to making a showdown of this magnitude real. Add to that the rise of streaming giants like Netflix and Amazon Prime, desperate for blockbuster content, and a Mayweather-Crawford clash becomes the ultimate prize, an event that could pull in millions of subscribers worldwide. With this unprecedented influx of money from sovereign wealth funds and streaming services, an offer could be crafted so massive, so irresistible, that even Floyd Mayweather would have no choice but to pay attention. But the paths of these two legends were never paved in gold. They were forged in struggle, both.
I'm pretty sure my decision is made already. You know, Bob couldn't secure me the Spence fight when I was with him. So how you gonna secure me the Spence fight when I'm not with him? So, you know, I'm moving forward with my career right now, and I wish everybody the best.
It was a lonely, bitter battle, waged in headlines and courtrooms, casting Crawford as an outcast king locked in a war with the industry machine. On the other side, Floyd Mayweather's greatest triumph, his record-shattering clash with Manny Pacquiao, still carries a shadow. Critics linger on the controversy over an intravenous infusion Mayweather received before the fight to rehydrate. Though later granted a retroactive exemption and cleared of banned substances, the episode left a permanent haze of doubt, for many feeling it breached the spirit, if not the letter, of anti-doping rules.
In the beginning of this conversation, you say, I don't like boastful people. How was it like fighting Mayweather then? Did he get on your nerves? Because I feel like he's a little bit more boastful than the people you might be wanting to hang out with.
Yeah, he's boastful. I think his God is the material things, money, everything like that. I'm pretty with him because I want to share the word of God in him if he believes God.
Yeah, I've heard he's a generous man. I think he's done good things. I think, you know, he kind of reminds me of like a lot of people are like this, by the way, including myself. I'm not just saying him. I'm including myself. The man who goes up to Jesus and says, what should I do to get into heaven? He says, sell all your belongings. And he walked away crying because he couldn't sell his belongings.
Exactly.
For both men, their flawless records hide a past of turmoil. One battled for the chances he was denied. The other fended off doubts about the legitimacy of his crowning achievement. If the money could be mustered, the fight would come down to one thing: legacy. This isn't just another 9-figure payday. For Terence Crawford, it would be the ultimate vindication. Defeating Mayweather would silence every debate and cement his place as a transcendent, all-time great.
Before the fight, the Crawford-Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. Go. Greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches. Not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists, everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course. Of course he is.
For Mayweather, it's a terrifying gamble. A loss wouldn't just mark a crack in his record. It would shatter the aura of invincibility he's spent over 2 decades building. We've seen what Crawford can do, not just with his fists, but with his mind. As former champion Sean Porter said, Crawford didn't just outbox Canelo, he broke him mentally, wearing down his spirit until it gave way. Crawford has what his trainer calls that dog, an unrelenting will to win that surpasses pure skill. The thought of Mayweather's defensive genius meeting Crawford's versatile, switch-hitting, psychologically relentless assault is the ultimate collision of styles and wills. So when will it happen? On one side, the irresistible force of Terence Crawford, a master of offense, knockout power in both hands, and a will no one can bend. On the other, the immovable object of Floyd Mayweather, the finest defensive fighter of his generation. In this era, where impossible fights are suddenly within reach, perhaps